help working through things at home on my internet or my computer and can't figure it out, Sean's always there to help me. So we've helped each other along the way, and it's been a great relationship. And as I mentioned earlier, he now has his own mentee, who I also connect with, and we are making a difference in this young man's life as well. I'll tell you one thing for certain. You will get out of this program at least what you put into it. In mine and Sean's case, it was well beyond that. This program will help you create social capital you need to be successful well beyond college if you leverage the relationships your mentor can provide. I'll say that again. The social capital that comes from being introduced to people that your mentor knows in the community, in their business, will be a critical aspect of helping you be successful. And I really do encourage you to do so. This program is focused on students and helping you realize your dreams and your potential. And we seek to be student-focused in everything we do. Many of you have probably seen that commitment and experience with us in high school, and you'll see it again over the next 4 years. And we know you're entering college at an unprecedented time. And please know that College Now and your mentor will be with you along that path. I had the opportunity last year to guest lecture at one of our state colleges, and I saw firsthand the challenges of COVID in the classroom. And I know you've all felt it over the last year, and I really do congratulate you on spending the time with us in this program, because it's hard. This time is hard. The distractions that come from constant changes between virtual and in-person and hybrid education can distract anyone. And, this program can help you stay on track. And I encourage you to do that. College Now is here to support you and help you achieve your goals through everything. So hopefully that makes sense and provides a really good introduction to why you're here and what value I think you can get out of that program today. And now I'm excited to introduce your next speakers and your hosts really for the evening, Shakina and Janelle, a current student and mentor pair, to share more details about their time in the program. Shakina is a rising junior at Kent State, I believe, and studying construction engineering, and Janelle is a project manager at Regency Construction Services. Like my experience, a pair that has been matched to really focus on the needs of the student. And I think you're going to see how well that's worked today. They've been paired since Shakina started school in 2019. So to all of you, best of luck and take advantage of the program. And with that, over to Shakina and Janelle. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. We really appreciate your time, your leadership. And for those of us just joining the call, Mark Ross is our chair of the board at College Now and himself a mentor. His mentee is now a mentor. So he's paid it forward in so many ways for us. And we appreciate, again, those sentiments this evening. A quick note as we start the conversation with Janelle and Shakina, if you have questions for our pair, please go ahead and drop them into the chat on the live stream, and we will make sure we are getting those in front of Janelle and Shakina here in just a bit. But to start us off, Janelle, I'm going to start with you first and pick on you a little bit. What does mentoring mean to you in general, and then also in the context of this program with College Now, or a very specific sort of program?
So personally, mentoring has played really a major role in my life. As you might have guessed from the construction position, I've really looked up to the mentors that I've had in the construction industry, including my president, Terry Rivera. There's not a lot of females within the construction industry, and really personally using the mentoring relationships that I have has helped me progress along my career. And then similarly, I've had the great opportunity to be Shakina's mentor for the last few years, but also knew her in high school through another mentoring program. So it's really been a great opportunity to see how much people can grow together over the course of a couple of years. And what really sticks out to me is just the shared learning opportunities that come from being a mentor or a mentee. There's really like a two-way communication that happens all the time in the mentoring relationship. And I think it's really critical, whether, you're a high school student, a college student, or a career professional, that you're really looking inward and reflecting upon your career and whatever you can do to give back to the community through mentoring or other ways. That's super critical to our Cleveland community in Northeast Ohio. And so I always encourage that everyone mentors the best of their ability.
Wow, thank you, Janelle. I can see why you and Shakina have hit it off in such an amazing fashion. But Shakina, sort of similar question to you. I know you're seeing sort of the different side of the coin than Janelle in this program particularly, but what has mentoring meant to you, and have you found yourself using some things you've learned through this program?
Oh, for sure. I think with Janelle, like Janelle said, growth has been a big part. I've seen Janelle growth in her career and as a person. And like it has helped me, seeing her succeed in her career has helped me keep motivated to learning and stuff. And like I've learned a lot from Janelle. I've shadowed her a lot. She has helped me grow in every aspect. And I think like the one thing she has helped me grow on a lot has been like time management, because I had no like knowledge on time management and I was getting overwhelmed and stuff. And she just helped me get like that under control and keep a balance. So like I think what mentoring means to me is like growth. I've grown a lot with Janelle, and I look forward to keep growing with her.
Yeah, and Shakina, could you give us sort of a look inside, those conversations that you have with Janelle? What's been one of the most important conversations that you've had together, would you say?
Oh, for sure. I think the most important conversation we've had, and it was quite recently too, was about mental health problems. I recently got like very overwhelmed with like work and school and just life in general. So we sat down, we opened up, we had this amazing conversation about her own anxieties and mine. And she kind of like took me throughout tools and tips to ground myself when I get overwhelmed. She would always check up on me to make sure I was doing okay and everything. So that really like changed my life, honestly, because this semester I'm like ready for it now. I'm like excited for it because we had that conversation.
Wow, that's awesome. Janelle, you are definitely making a difference here. And it sounds like, although Shakina and Janelle, to your previous point, that two-way street, it sounds like you've each offered each other some insights there. So that's really amazing. Yeah, Janelle, if you had anything to add, but also maybe to talk to us a little bit about maybe an ongoing conversation that you've been having lately.
So Shakina is probably tired of hearing me say this, but from day one, I've stressed that, college is very important, but there's also other important life skills and aspects that you need to, have developed during your college years. In case of, Shakina and my conversation, that has been related to driver's license. So Shakina came from Puerto Rico, so she didn't necessarily, have the same background of driving and things as other students did. But if you want a job, especially when like in construction where you have to travel, it's really critical to be able to drive. So we've been working on steps every couple months to make sure that when Shakina graduates from college, she'll be able to drive herself to her career that she decides to have. But also just that kind of higher level conversation that, classes are very important and learning in college is very important, but it's not necessary, if you can't get straight A's in all of your classes, really trying to help, the pair, mentee, mentor focus on what's important in life, whether that's construction classes for Shakina versus, some of the more general requirements, or making sure that you just kind of understand, financial aspects of life, like insurance and budgeting and things like that. Those are, I'm finding as we go through the mentoring, even more important than some of the strict college class discussions.
Yeah, Shakina, to follow up on that, Janelle mentioned, that was almost a surprising aspect for her, that so much of that stuff really does play into college success and, encountering those conversations through the program. Is there anything that sort of surprised you that maybe was different from what you expected as you started things off? It would have been, 2-3 years ago now?
Oh, for sure. Many things, honestly. I thought it was just going to be this like an email 2 times a month and that's it. But we like meet up in person. I've shadowed her, like I said before. We talk on the phone sometimes, we text. And like, it's been amazing to see Janelle, like now she's like an expecting mother. And it's like very great to see just the growth like that we both had. Like it's my third year in college, kind of, and like it's just so great to see and just grow.
Well, that's great. And Janelle, congratulations again to you. We'll have to get you a little onesie. Sometimes for people on our team, we make little, I'll be a mentor onesie. So make sure we get you one for your new little one. But it is an interesting thing that you both touch on there about just how much all plays into success and just how important our other aspects of life can be too in this process. And thank you for being willing to share those more personal insights. We do have a couple of questions that we're getting from our live stream. So if you do have some questions, please go ahead and pop those into the chat. From Patty, we have a question for Shakina. You mentioned time management is an important thing you worked on with Janelle. What time management tips did you find most helpful?
Oh, for sure. Creating a schedule, like a class schedule and a study schedule too. Like you go to class, you take a break to like socialize and take care of yourself, like eat, sleep, take time for yourself too. And then make a schedule to study as well. And that kind of like helps me keep balance and everything. Like apps can help you with scheduling too, like download some scheduling apps and those help, or a calendar, put it in your room or something, write everything down. And that just helps a lot. At least for me, it worked.
Awesome. And of course, different things will work for different people as well. That sounds like covered some good bases there. Janelle, anything to add to that? Anything that you've discovered useful and especially virtual space?
Especially in the virtual space, it's honestly been good to be able to connect with Shakina via Zoom, because sometimes when the students are at college, they're not necessarily close enough to see each other on a regular basis. And so I've actually really liked having the Zoom meetings and setting up meeting invites, and that ability to communicate virtually, I think probably will actually strengthen our relationship long term, even though we couldn't see each other, during the COVID pandemic portion. I think it has given some more communication platforms, which will help, working to just come up with more techniques too for schedule management and things as needed throughout the next couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. And in terms of the mentoring relationship itself, if you are a scheduler and you do like lists, we do have a function you can use in Cronus, and Shakina and Janelle are laughing at me, but there is a function you can use in Cronus called the pair plan. So if you're in there, you can actually make some milestones, some deliverables, however you'd like to conceptualize it, but you can make sort of a plan and some pacing. And we do have some things pre-set up for you, but feel free to use that if that is sort of your cup of tea, so to speak. We do have a couple of great questions about working on the relationship and building a relationship, and to take that in a slightly different direction, and then I'll ask the original question. Would you be able to comment on any tips and tricks you found on how to build a good relationship when you are mostly virtual? Because all of our pairs starting things out right now, it is an online program. We do have that expectation. Most people will communicate online for the most part, but that in-person initial meeting is not as doable for most people at this point. So if you ladies had any thoughts for us on that.
At least one of the things that I found is important, especially in this, virtual timeframe, is really making a concerted effort to just be open and, share, your experiences as authentically as you can. I know sometimes when you're starting out and you don't quite know your mentor or mentee, it might be a little scary to kind of open up and share your personal experience. But I've, found with Shakina that, we've really been able to grow closer once we got kind of past the initial, okay, what classes are you taking? Where do you go? Who are your roommates? But once we've gotten into more of the, I would say, difficult life conversations and things that are more long-term, that's really been important to the mentoring relationship. So however the pairs can, develop that authenticity early on, I think will help with the long-term mentoring relationship.
Yeah, I love that authenticity. That's exceptional. Shakina, if you had thoughts, particularly for students from a student perspective, and anything that you found to be helpful or you wish you would have known, let's say a few years ago.
Well, I think the thing that I always try to improve myself on is like answering bonuses on time. Like Janelle sent me some messages and I wait a bit on it. Like answer them on time, be open to it too. Like ask them questions about their career, their family, their jobs, their education that they had. Ask them for advice. Like don't be afraid to get to know them and for them to get to know you. Like right now, like I even texted Janelle about getting an apartment and she was the first person I asked about it. I was like, should I do this? Like, would this work? And there's so many benefits from creating a true relationship with your mentor, and you're gonna see it in a couple of years, or even like weeks in the beginning. It's just amazing.
Well, that's exceptional. This is a great note to end on. We did have a question from Laura, and it is a little bit broader, so I'm going to go ahead and ask that original question. But Laura mentioned she is new to the program, new to the mentoring relationship. Did either of you have additional tips and tricks, maybe just taking outside of that virtual focus I mentioned, but anything that you would like to, again, highlight for our new mentors or new students? And Shakina, if you had thoughts for new college students as well, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, I think for college students and with COVID being so weird and classes being half online, half in person or online, creating a schedule, but also taking time for yourself, looking for clubs, organizations that make you feel like you have a support. Because sometimes like if you live on campus too, you can feel very alienated and feel like imposter syndrome. But you can get through that. You will get through that. Ask your mentor, ask for help to anyone, like college counselors, there's groups to help you, and find like a support group to college, like friends, and just find a support group.
And even to the mentoring side of that for the mentors, I know, College Now tries to have events and gatherings for the mentors to kind of get to know each other and support each other as well, because it is, a new experience. If you're not used to mentoring someone and they have life challenges or come from a different cultural background than yourself, there can be a lot of, nuances to work through and learn, and just whatever you can do to get to know your mentee, get to know the other mentors involved. And, College Now is a great network. And there's, I know, a lot of resources that the team has to help support everyone as well. But my other just comment is to go back to Mark's original comment about social capital. I really think that's an important concept. With all of the professionals that are mentoring in the industry, there should be ample opportunities to either help your mentee shadow, get internships, connect them with people that to have them kind of come back and support themselves in Cleveland, because that's one of the things I think that Shakina and I also bonded about early on is she was able to shadow me, and even if it's not long term exactly what your mentee wants to do, getting exposure to some of the professional industries I think is very helpful and kind of can create some opportunities to bond with each other.
Thank you again to you both from your stories, your comments on connecting personally, connecting professionally. I think you've given us a lot to really think about here this evening. And Shakina, best wishes on starting your semester. And again, thank you so much for taking some time this evening out of your schedule as a junior now to come back and speak with us. So thank you to you both.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm now going to hand things over to my colleague Jasmine, whom you met very briefly earlier, and she is going to go ahead and take us through just some brief information about the first meeting, and then a really handy way you can accomplish that first meeting on Cronus. So take it away, Jasmine.
Hi, everyone. As Madeline said, I am one of the mentoring program coordinators at College Now, and I am going to be your point of contact in the program. So I probably have started to talk to some of you already, and I look forward to talking to you all and meeting you all throughout your time in the program. So I am going to show you how to meet virtually through Cronus, whether that be right after this or in the future. We do ask that all of our pairs have a first meeting, which can be via video on Cronus, as I'm going to show you, or any other type of meeting. And the exciting thing is, if you meet between August 31st, today, and September 6th, the student in the pair will be entered into a raffle to win a $100 gift card. So that's really exciting, and I'm going to show you how to meet via Cronus virtually. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right, awesome. So you all should be able to see the Cronus platform. I'm logged in, and I am fortunate enough to be Robert Downey Jr. in our program, and we have funnily paired him with Zac Efron. So once you're logged into Cronus, the most important thing that I want to add, if you are going to use the virtual Meet feature, you need to be logged onto a browser version of Cronus. So we have an app, but you cannot use the app to meet virtually and bring up the video on the call. So you want to use a browser, whether that be on your laptop, desktop, or even phone. You can use a browser such as, Safari, Google Chrome, Firefox. Those all should work fine, but you need to use the browser instead of the app. And then once you're logged in and you're matched, on your home page, you will notice a new meeting feature at the top in green. I'm going to go ahead and click on that new meeting feature, and you simply hit add new meeting. So you add a topic, which is mandatory. So I'm going to title it first meeting. You have to pick the date of your meeting. So, if you're planning to meet with your mentee soon, even if it's later today, you pick the date. I'm going to go ahead and pick today. And then picking a time is helpful. It's not mandatory, but I think it would be helpful. So you all know the time that you're planning to meet each other. I'm going to go ahead and pick 4:45. The cool thing about this is no matter what time you pick, even if it's like 5 minutes from now or a few days from now, you still will be able to access that meeting. And then the most important thing is that you are going to click video call. So you see the options, if you're meeting in person or whatever, you can click that. But for purposes of meeting on the video, you want to click video call. And then we're going to simply click create. So now that meeting that you went ahead and created will prompt a meeting invite for your mentee or your mentor. So once they log into Cronus, they will also see the video meeting option. So you will notice a green button that says join meeting. So you'll simply click on the join meeting button. And an important thing to note is you notice that a new screen popped up that said join meeting. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm supposed to be able to see my mentor or mentee right now, but you have to click join meeting twice. I'm not going to be able to do that right now because I am on Zoom. So that is an important note that if you are using the video meeting feature on Cronus, you want to make sure that you don't have any other things open that will be able to access your camera like Zoom or your camera. So you want to make sure those things are closed out and you can click join meeting or join now. So what you should typically see is you should have a new screen pop up and your mentee, once they also click the join now feature, you'll be able to see them on the screen like this. So that is the gist of starting a video meeting on Cronus. It's a cool new feature that we have. I want to point out that we did include an announcement, and an announcement is up with resources that you can use to meet, including conversation starters and a fillable form agreement. Those are both optional and just for your convenience. And maybe we'll be able to put those in the chat also. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. All right, wonderful. So again, I just want to point out that this is a really cool feature, but just remember that you can't use the app in order to use this feature, and you have to be on a browser. Also, I just want to point out that in order to use this, you need to go ahead and schedule a meeting, and you need to communicate with your partner and make sure that they are available to meet. So if you haven't talked to them about meeting yet, or if you don't know if they're present, go ahead and message them on Cronus first with suggested times to meet rather than just setting up a meeting now. You can always use any form of meeting, whether that be traditional phone calls, in-person meetings, or other virtual meeting spaces, such as Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, things of that nature. And then of course, Cronus Virtual Meet, which is what I just showed you. You can always use those to meet with your mentor or mentee. And I just also want to point out that if you've reached out to your mentor or mentee and you have not heard from them, we definitely understand your concern. But please be patient. These are very busy times for us all. We're still in a pandemic, and mentees are going through a big adjusting to, their first semester of college and navigating all that. We will definitely begin reaching out to pairs in the next month to encourage communication, but hopefully you all have met or will be meeting soon. And again, the exciting news is if you meet between today, August 31st, and September 6th, the student and the pair will be entered into a raffle to win a $100 gift card. We will be able to see the pairs that have met using the Cronus Meet feature, so you don't have to let us know. But if you've already met with your mentee or meet on a different time, feel free to go ahead and log that on Cronus. And I just want to thank everyone for their time, and I wish everyone a great semester. We're always here for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, or if you have any questions, you can always use the Cronus administrator button to ask any of those questions. And so I'll turn it over to Madeline again.
Well, thanks everyone again for your attention today. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for starting this journey with us. Students, we look forward to being part of your journey. And mentors, we are very grateful to you for your involvement with the program, for your support of a student. And again, we are excited to work with all of you over the next few years. So have a great rest of your evening, and let's see how many meetings we can log between now and September.